The phone rings at 2 a.m. I stumble out of bed, heart pounding, knowing it's Mom or Dad again. My siblings haven't called in months, leaving me alone to handle every fall, every doctor's visit, every tearful night. I'm drowning, and they don't care. Before we start, let us know in the comment section where you're watching from. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more. I'm Sarah, 34, single, and the youngest of 3. My parents, both in their 80s, live in their old house, refusing to move. Dad's heart is weak. Mom's memory is fading. My siblings, Mark and Lisa, moved far away, busy with their own lives. They call once a month, if that, but expect me to handle everything. I work full-time as a nurse, but I'm at their house daily, cooking, cleaning, and checking pills. I'm exhausted, and resentment is creeping in. Why is it all on me? Last night, Dad fell again. I rushed over, helped him up, and stayed until he slept. My boss warned me about missing work. I want to scream, but who would listen? My siblings say, "You're there, Sarah. It's easier for you." Easier. I haven't slept properly in weeks. I love my parents, but this is crushing me. I called Mark today, hoping he'd help. He lives 3 states away, with a fancy job and 2 kids. "Sarah, you're doing great," he said, like that fixes anything. I told him I'm falling apart, but he just said, "We'll visit soon." Soon never comes. Lisa's no better, she's in California, always too busy. I hung up, feeling more alone than ever. Back at Mom and Dad's, I found Mom staring at a photo of us as kids. She asked if I was Lisa. My heart sank. I reminded her who I am, but her eyes stayed blank. I cooked dinner, but Dad barely ate. I'm trying, but it's never enough. I cried in my car after, wondering how long I can keep this up. At work, I got a warning. My boss said my tardiness is a problem. I explained about my parents, but she just frowned. "Get help," she said. "Help from who? I can't afford a caregiver, and my siblings won't pitch in." I nodded, holding back tears, and went back to my patients. That night, Mom wandered outside in her nightgown. A neighbor called me. I raced over, heart pounding, and found her in the yard, shivering. I brought her inside, wrapped her in a blanket, and sat with her until she slept. I'm scared she'll get hurt, and I can't be everywhere. I found an old letter from Lisa in a drawer while cleaning. She wrote it years ago, promising to help with Mom and Dad. "We're in this together," it said. I laughed bitterly. Together. I called her, but it went to voicemail. I left a message, asking her to come. No reply yet. Dad had a doctor's appointment today. I took the morning off, losing pay. He needs a new heart medication, but it's expensive. I paid for it, dipping into my savings. Mom kept asking where we were going, even in the car. I'm trying to stay patient, but I'm so tired. A coworker, Jen, noticed I was off today. I told her about my parents. She suggested a support group for caregivers. I brushed it off at first, but she insisted it helped her with her mom. I agreed to try it. Talking to others will help me feel less alone. At home, Mom had a good moment. She remembered my name and hugged me. It felt like a gift. Dad even smiled when I made his favorite soup. These moments keep me going, but they're rare. I'm still waiting for Lisa to call back. I went to the caregiver support group after work. It was in a church basement, with folding chairs and coffee. People shared stories like mine, feeling trapped, angry, but loving their parents. I didn't talk much, just listened. A woman named Claire said she felt invisible too. I nodded, feeling understood for once. Driving home, I felt a bit lighter. But then Dad called. Mom was upset, thinking someone had stolen her jewelry. It was in her drawer, like always. I calmed her down, but the peace from the group faded fast. I'm still carrying this alone. Mark called out of the blue, saying he's visiting this weekend. I was shocked but hopeful. Maybe he'll see how hard this is. I spent the day cleaning Mom and Dad's house, hoping it'd make things easier. I'm nervous about what he'll say when he sees them. When he arrived, he hugged Mom and Dad but seemed uneasy. Mom called him by Dad's name, and Dad barely spoke. Mark looked at me like I should fix it. I wanted to yell, but I just made coffee. He's here, but I'm still alone. Dinner with Mark was quiet. I cooked Mom's favorite, roast chicken, but she barely ate, just pushed food around. Dad tried to talk, but kept coughing. Mark asked about their health, but when I explained, he changed the subject. He didn't want to hear it. After dinner, I asked him to help with the dishes. He said he was tired from traveling. I bit my tongue and washed them alone. Later, he said he'd stay one more day, but then he's busy. I'm not surprised, but it still hurts. Mark left this morning. He hugged Mom and Dad, promised to call more, and said he'd figure something out to help. I didn't believe him. He didn't offer money or time, just words. I drove him to the airport, and we barely spoke. Back home, Mom asked where Mark was. I lied and said he'd be back soon. It's easier than explaining. Dad was quiet, staring out the window. I feel like I'm failing them, but I'm doing all I can. The support group is tomorrow. I need it. At the support group, I finally spoke. I told them about Mark's visit and how alone I feel. Claire hugged me after, saying she gets it. Her brother's the same. We exchanged numbers. It's small, but it feels like a lifeline. I'm not invisible here at home. Dad had a bad day. His heart meds made him dizzy, and he snapped at me. I stayed calm, but it stung. Mom kept asking for Lisa. I didn't cry until I was in my car. Claire texted me to check in. I replied, grateful. I checked my bank account today, almost empty. Dad's new meds and Mom's doctor visits are adding up. I called Lisa, begging for help with costs. She said she'd look into it but sounded annoyed. I don't think she'll send anything. At the house, Mom broke a lamp, thinking it was a stranger. I cleaned up the glass, my hands shaking. Dad tried to help but got tired fast. I can't afford to fix everything breaking, objects or people. I'm scared of what's next. Claire invited me for coffee after the support group. We talked for hours. She's caring for her dad alone too. She told me about a local program that helps pay for meds. I applied online tonight. It might not work, but it's hope. Mom had a good day. She sang an old song while I cooked. Dad even laughed. These moments are rare, but they remind me why I keep going. I texted Claire to thank her. She's becoming a real friend. Mom wandered out at midnight again. A neighbor found her 2 blocks away. I ran to get her, my heart racing. She was cold and scared, not knowing where she was. I brought her home, tucked her in, and sat up all night, watching her. In the morning, Dad was upset, saying I should have watched her better. I wanted to snap back but didn't. I called a locksmith to install door alarms. It's another bill I can't afford, but I have no choice. The med program Claire told me about approved us. It'll cover half of Dad's heart pills. I cried with relief. It's not everything, but it's something. I told Claire, and she was thrilled. I owe her so much. Mom was quiet today, staring at old photos again. Dad seemed better, but he's still weak. I'm trying to focus on the good news, but I'm so tired. The support group is tomorrow. I need to hear I'm not alone. I called a family meeting over video. Mark and Lisa actually joined. I told them about Mom's wandering and the costs. They listened but didn't offer help. Mark said he'd visit soon, and Lisa said she's saving up. I hung up, angry. At home, Dad fell again. I got him up, but my back hurt after. Mom asked why I looked sad. I lied and said I was fine. I'm not fine, but I can't stop now. Claire suggested I look into part-time caregivers. I found one I can just afford with the med program help. Her name's Tina, and she starts next week. I'm nervous but hopeful. Maybe I'll get a break. Mom had a bad day, forgetting my name again. Dad tried to cheer her up, but he's so weak. I stayed late, making sure they ate. Tina could change things. I just hope it works out. Tina came today. She's kind, in her 50s, and good with Mom and Dad. She helped with lunch and kept Mom calm when she got confused. I watched, feeling a mix of relief and guilt. Should I be the one doing this? I went to work without rushing for once. But I kept checking my phone, worried something would go wrong. Tina texted that everything was fine. I'm not used to this, it feels strange but good. Tina's been coming for a week, and it's helping. I get a few hours to myself, but I feel guilty. Mom and Dad raised me, shouldn't I be there all the time? I told Claire at the support group, and she said it's normal to feel this way. Mom asked for me yesterday when Tina was there. It broke my heart. I stayed longer that night, reading to her. Dad thanked me, but I feel like I'm not doing enough. Dad had chest pain last night. I rushed him to the hospital. They kept him overnight, saying it was his heart. I stayed by his side, terrified. Mom was with Tina, but she kept calling, confused. I felt torn in two. Dad's stable now, but he needs more tests. I called Mark and Lisa, but they just said, keep us posted. I'm angry but too tired to fight. Tina's helping with Mom, but I'm back to no sleep. Dad's home, but he's weaker. Tina's coming more, and I'm grateful, but money's tight. The med program helps, but I'm cutting corners everywhere. I haven't bought new clothes in a year. My life feels like it's on hold. Mom's worse, too, she forgot Dad's name today. I held her hand, trying not to cry. Claire texted, inviting me to dinner. I said yes. I need a friend more than ever. Claire took me to a diner. We laughed for the first time in weeks. She shared her own struggles, and I felt less alone. I told her about Dad's hospital stay and Mom's memory. She listened, and it helped. At home, Tina said Mom had a good day. Dad was asleep. I sat in my car, feeling a mix of hope and sadness. Claire's friendship is saving me, but I'm still scared of what's coming. I called Mark and Lisa again, furious. I told them about Dad's hospital stay and Mom's wandering. I said I can't do this alone anymore. Mark got defensive. Lisa said she'd try to visit. I don't believe them, but I had to say it. Tina found Mom hiding food under her bed, scared it'd be stolen. I cleaned it up, feeling numb. Dad apologized for being a burden. I hugged him, saying he's not. But I'm breaking. Lisa showed up today, unannounced. I was shocked. She hugged Mom and Dad, but they barely reacted. She stayed for an hour, asking questions about their care. I told her everything, hoping she'd stay longer. She didn't. She left after promising to send money. I want to believe her, but I'm not holding my breath. Tina's still a blessing, but I'm so tired. The support group is tomorrow. I need it. Mom had a meltdown today, screaming about a stranger in the house. It was Tina. I calmed her down, but it took hours. Dad was quiet, looking sadder than ever. I feel like I'm failing them both. At the support group, I cried. Claire and others hugged me. They said I'm doing my best, but it doesn't feel like enough. I'm scared I can't keep going, but I have to. Lisa sent $500. It's not much, but it helps. I used it for Tina's next week. I thanked her, and she said she'd try to do more. I'm cautious but grateful. Mark's still silent, but I'm done begging. I took Mom and Dad for a walk today. Mom smiled at a bird, and Dad held my hand. It was a good moment. Claire texted, saying I'm stronger than I think. Maybe she's right. I'll keep going, one day at a time.